Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? This is the Sigma Lenny Show. For those who are new, what we do is we talk about Redpill content, and we talk about wisdom, and we also talk about helping men to improve themselves. The guest that I have with me today is Kingzndreamz, the infamous Kingzndreamz. And what we're talking about today is why simping is dangerous. And I think this is a very important topic to basically help you guys out because at some point we have to have accountability. Accountability is very important. And in order for us to be able to improve ourselves as a collective, we have to understand and identify that violations such as simping is very dangerous. So also with Kingzndreamz, he actually has a video out. I don't want to butcher it here. It's "Don't Allow Woman's Looks to Simp You Out" with DJ Doughboy. Very, very good video. A lot of jewels, a lot of gems in that video. The link will be in the description below, so you guys can go and check the channel out in that video specifically. My question for you, Mr. King, what we have is in that video, Doughboy, he made a valid point. He was talking about guys basically with money and how they were basically just pouring out money to women, basically seeking validation. So my question for you is how or what you feel towards a guy doing something like that? Like how can that be dangerous for a guy to do such a thing like that?
Yeah, so good question. One of the things that can be dangerous is men, regardless of what status you are, you have to remain in your frame, and you have to understand that you are the prize. You are what's being, uh, you are the one that's being brought to the table, and when you try to use money to get validation from a woman. Now, don't get me wrong. You got to have money anytime you're pursuing a woman, dating a woman. You got to have money.
Yes, sir.
So the thing is that how it can be very dangerous, a couple of ways. Um, it can mess up your psyche
Mm,
when you think, all right, I have this power, and why is she not acquiescing to this power as far as money goes?
mm,
It can build resentment over time. It can build anger, frustration. So I would say two of the main things that can be affected can be your mental and physical, especially if you're not in your frame and things kind of spiral out of control. Things can get physical. Um, you can be down on yourself mentally
mm.
without really having the full understanding of what you actually bring, your power, if you will.
Right.
Money is one of the main aspects, but you have to have your mind right, and you like a man. I always believe this: a man has to be in control, not controlling a woman. He has to be in control.
In control. Mhm.
Um, and when you're not in control and you let the money lead you, things can combust, if you will. You're giving this woman this validation. You're spending all this money. One of the things that DJ Doughboy said, shout out to DJ Doughboy. One of the things that he was saying, millionaires can buy this place. He said in verbatim, I just spin records here. And
Right.
one of the things that I said was that the woman look at you because you're in control.
Mm.
Money
I
matters for sure. Money matters, but women are very smart. They can see when a man is in control.
mm.
And if that man is not in control, she's gonna run circles around you, bro.
And that is a fact.
Right.
That is a fact. I think what a lot of men don't understand is that we have to understand the roles, and I think somewhere down the line, um, as the human race, really,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not really demographic specific to say,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a humanity thing, right? And we somewhere down the line in modern society have forgotten what our roles really are. The man and the woman. The
Mm-hmm.
woman is supposed to be a good follower, right? And then we have the man who's the leader, who's supposed to be a good leader. Traditionally, back in the day, it was the man. He had to be out there to go to be the breadwinner, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the woman had to take care of home, take care of the kids, while he go out there and basically bring home the bacon. And I think what has happened, society has made a shift, whereas uh, the woman has now have taken on those roles, whereas it's kind of she don't necessarily need a man to be the provider. So it's kind of an economic thing. I want to say that Doughboy actually touched on this as well. Like it's an economic thing. It's a
Mm-hmm.
systematic thing, right?
Right.
And ultimately, I think with they say things come full circle, right? So things just come right back around. And I
Mm-hmm.
think eventually, the way society is going now, we're going to end up getting back into a 360 in the shift, where everything just kind of align themselves. But my scare is that, which is why simping is dangerous, is while that shift is going, we need to be able to hold ourselves as men accountable,
Right.
to ensure that we're ready. So when that happens,
Right.
we can start looking for, that woman of our life, right? That
Right.
one, that's the one that's going to be the right one. And it will be rather easy. It's not going to be so difficult because we're all going to be prepared and ready for it.
Right.
Um, Also, there was something else I wanted to talk about too, in regards to that, because you had another video. I don't want to butcher the lady's name. It was Menage. Is that her name? I think it was Menage.
Manny G. Manny G.
Manny G. I'm sorry, Miss Manny
Yeah.
G.
Yeah. No, no
um,
worries. Shout out to Manny G. Yep.
yes, shout out to her. It was a really, really good video that you had on that too, and I was listening to that as well. Um, Women's accountability is something I want to touch on as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think women's accountability is important as well, because for the roles of women, they need to be able to hold each other accountable so they can be prepared for the man while we're holding each other accountable. So my question to you is, how important you feel it is with women accountability, for them to basically educate each other on how to be a good woman.
Right. Good question. Um, I what I'm starting to see, like how you had mentioned, like there's that shift, right? Like things are
Right.
starting to come back full circle, if you will. Um, and I have been privy to the Manosphere content since about 2018. Um, Even before it was really called like the Manosphere, or you want to call it the RP. Um, Like I have been privy to that, and then what I have noticed from 2018 to present, this fear has blown up, and now I'm starting to see women in this fear,
Mhm.
and I'm starting to see women of all races, black, white. There's even some Asian. Shout out to Filipina B. I think that's her name. She's in the
Yes.
Philippines. Yeah,
Mhm.
but all of these women of different races, different ethnicities, different religions, are starting to hold women accountable,
Right.
right? And so we can call women accountable. Men are always going to be tougher on each other because we know what's to be expected of us, and we
Right.
know for the most part men should not have that emotion. So if you and I are having a conversation and you say, "Hey, Kings and Dreams, you're messing up on this. You need to do this. You need to do that." I'm not going to feel away because I know you're holding me accountable, right? Now if I come out and say, "Well, Susie, and um, let's just call it Susie." So Susie, I try to say Susie as being accountable. I can be called narcissistic or misogynist or what have you,
Right.
right? But now we're starting to see April call Susie out. That's extremely important because now the women are holding each other accountable.
Right.
That's very important to this sphere. And to society as a whole. Even if people don't aspire to this sphere, just as long as we are having the conversation and women are starting to really hold each other accountable, we can bring things back. Maybe not to the way it was because modern way, like, things are going to be a little bit different, but we want to get back to that tradition. We want to get back to, not like, okay, like, I'm at level 10, you're at level 10, we're partners. No, I'm at level 10, you're at level 6 or 7. Like I'm the pilot, you're not the co-pilot. You're the stewardess.
Right.
That's and when women hear that, it's like, oh, like, I can't be better. No, it's not that you can't be better. It's that men and women, we are different. We 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 buy the home, you make inside the home a home.
I think you make a valid point there
Hmm.
because you know this is what causes the whole broken home thing. You
Right.
know, when we have all these broken homes, what happens is a lot of guys, which is really relaying back to why simping is dangerous.
Hmm.
There was a video with a gentleman, and he was basically talking about the guys that are uh, basically doing red pill content, educating really.
Hmm.
They don't have homes and they don't have good credit scores. They don't make six figures. They sleep, they live with their mama and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you know, why are you simping in that fashion? We're out here educating
Yeah.
men,
Hmm.
right? We're educating young men so they can, eventually become a man,
Right.
and do the right thing, you know.
Right.
And this is why I say that simping is dangerous because with information out there like that, um, it'll be misinformed,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
people, the people that we're trying to very well educate, uh, will be missing out because they'll come across a video like that and think that, oh well, I'm gonna just go ahead and lose hope, like there's no hope for me,
Right.
nobody really cares about me. I think people don't understand, especially people like that, who simp on that kind of level. They don't
Right.
understand that uh, people are fragile. You
Hmm.
know, they're
Especially nowadays.
Absolutely, because society has now, it has been shown repeatedly how sensitive things can be. You got to watch what you say. People are trying to censor you. They got a term out here called cancel culture. Right. So
Yep.
I'm sure you're aware of that. The
Yes,
whole
yes,
cancel
yes.
culture wave. And it's like you got to be careful with everything that you say, and that's why I say, like, we have to, try our best to try to put an end to this whole simping thing, whereas we can educate men so they can
Hmm.
go ahead and, and stop all the broken homes, because it starts from wherever generation you start at, and you go from there, and you catapult
Right,
to the many people that you can reach,
right,
that's going to be able to have your voice heard, and it'll ring a bell in that person's head and say, hey, you know what, I can make a change today. you
right,
know I don't have to go out here, simping for these women when I
right,
understand who I am, myself, which is basically what DJ Doughboy was saying in your video. He had to basically understand who he was, and
right,
once he understood who he was able to go ahead and see, like, oh, okay, cool, I know who I am. you know it was brought to my attention, and now I see who I am.
hmm,
Okay, I don't have to be doing, going out here doing these things
right,
that is unwarranted. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? I can go ahead and be who the best person of, or best version of myself. I don't
hmm,
have to validate to no one. I don't need anyone's validation. I'm validated enough for myself, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of my responsibilities.
right,
So that's just my two on it.
right. Yeah, no, yeah. So a couple of things that you had mentioned. You were saying that you had seen a video where a gentleman was talking about like Manosphere Content, like the RP, dudes aren't really making six figures. Basically, like dudes are capping on what they're saying, right?
Right.
So if this content wasn't getting bigger, nobody would care. But this content is getting bigger and bigger. And what's happening is that a lot of men nowadays, whether they watch it or not, but the men that are watching it, they're having conversations with their friends at the barber shop. You go over your buddy's house, for a beer or a barbecue. You watching a football game or whatever it is. But men in social settings, they are having the conversation, and now now like men are starting to be aware. So when you have these conversations, when men have these conversations with their friends, I'm having conversations with my friends, and some of them don't aspire to manosphere content, but now, like, due to the fact that, like, the friends that do aspire to it, we're having conversations with the friends that necessarily don't, but now they're hearing the message from people
Right.
that they actually know. And it's like, you know what? Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. And then another thing that you had mentioned, like, when DJ Doughboy was saying, like, he had to look within himself, and to kind of realize what his shortcomings was. Yeah, I mean, I did as well. I grew up in a single parent household. Unfortunately, my father died when I was very young.
Oh,
Um,
condolences.
yeah, but growing up, I did not control my emotions that well. I would, you know, I would overreact over minuscule things, and it took a while. Like I remember. I try not to talk about her, but um, with my son's mom and I, things came to a head, at least on my end where I was just like very just upset, frustrated. And I said, you know what? I need to be in control, because if two people aren't in control, things are going to spiral out of control. And who's going to be affected? The child.
Mm.
So I had to take myself, look myself in the mirror and say, all right, I need to talk to a professional. I spoke to a professional, um, work things out with therapy. Men, I definitely recommend therapy. Um,
Absolutely.
especially black men. I know different men are watching this, but especially our brothers, definitely take therapy. There is no shame in it. You get a lot of clarity, things that you probably didn't realize that was um, subdued under your surface, if you will, in your mind, comes to light. So, and it's just great for your mental health, and you look at things like a lot different. And for me, it was a weight like lifted off of my shoulders.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I applaud you first and
Thank
foremost for even going to therapy. I've taken therapy twice. I've taken I've taken it when I'm going to say maybe 11 or 12,
Mhm.
and I also took it again in my 20s. In my 20s, I understood it a little bit more,
Mhm.
because they were having us do like exercises,
Right.
right? And I want to say this to the audience too. People who are afraid of going to therapy, they're like, oh, I just don't want to sit on the couch and have somebody. A lot of times it's not like that.
No.
The type of therapy that I went to, they actually did like exercises. They did it with a group, right?
Mhm.
So we did like group exercises. That we have 101s, and it really helped, man. It really did. It
Yeah.
helped me to basically calm my anger,
Right.
because I was so enraged.
Yep.
I couldn't handle my temper. Like even my grandmother, she would say, why you always come in looking with a mean face, why,
Yep. Yep.
you
Yep.
need to smile sometimes, because
Yeah.
my grandmother is from, she's originally from the South, right?
Yeah.
So, down in the South, the hospitality is tremendously different from up
Right.
north, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, so she was
Absolutely. Come on.
exactly, like
Yeah.
it's like that. Like the
Yeah.
hospitality is way different. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, have a smile on your face, say good morning, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a person that I didn't even like myself, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
So I advise everyone in the audience to definitely, definitely look into some kind of therapy. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose?
Right.
You got everything really to gain. If it's
Right.
like, if it's not for you, then hey, you can't say that you didn't try, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's a way of being, just having some self-awareness,
Right. Yeah.
on this whole
Absolutely.
situation.
Yeah. Self awareness is key, and and therapy not only do you help yourself, but it helps you in relationships, and not necessarily romantic relationships. Yes, but it can help you in romantic relationships, business relationships, at work, maybe some things that you might have gotten bent out of shape where it really wasn't that serious. Your friends, possibly your family. It really helps all across the board. And uh, one other thing I would say, so like I also travel, um, and I have met so many people like just traveling who have told me their life story, and I don't even know these people, and they tell me their whole life story. So don't worry about, you quote unquote sitting on the couch and telling somebody your life
Right.
story. Like it trust me, you just start traveling, and you just meet random people, and you just be personable. People will tell you
Right.
everything.
They really will. I found it interesting. Like I've had a guy, tell me about his whole situation. He had like 5 kids, and
Yep.
you know, he's like,
Hmm.
"Hey, I'm trying to turn my life around," and I was like,
Yep.
"Well, hey, this is a start.
Right.
This is a start. You
Yep.
know, we all here.
Yep.
And
Right.
it definitely worked out for the better, man. I will say
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I I tip my hat off to you, man,
Thank you, man.
for
Thank you.
doing
Thank
that.
you. Well, one last thing I was going to say, in reference to therapy or therapeutic, um, men definitely get around like-minded men, and and have those conversations. Um, like, yes, you should confide in your woman, but don't tell her every single thing. You want to confide in uh, men who are in your circle. If you don't have a circle of men, try to find a circle of men. Try to be more outgoing. Try to be more personable. What I am saying is, long story short, is get around a group of men who you all can support each other, hold each other accountable, and build with each other.
Absolutely. I totally agree, man, with that.
Yeah.
Because one important thing with that is with our women, we don't want to put that extra pressure on them when it comes to our internal
Right.
manhood issues.
Hmm.
Um, I had a friend who told me, like, hey, he's like, you know what I learned, man? And I was like, what? He said, I noticed I talked to my wife about everything. And he said I would get upset when she didn't respond in a certain way. And I was
Hmm.
like, you know what, man? I can relate. And he said, you know what? He said, manhood business should be conducted with manhood business. Right. And
Talk
I was
about
like,
it.
wow. I said, you know what? You absolutely right, dude. I said, because it wasn't made for a woman to understand
Right.
manhood business. Because
Right.
there's a lot of, first and foremost, you dealing with two different makeups genetically,
Right.
right? Women got estrogen, men got testosterone.
Hmm.
you know it can affect your thought patterns, the way you respond to certain things, uh, certain types of feelings. A woman might be feeling a certain way, a certain day, based on her biological makeup, whatever's going on in there. And
Hmm.
you might be feeling a certain way that day,
Hmm.
and she might not be able to respond to you the way you would want her to.
Right.
But if you have that friend, you can call on the phone, say, hey, man, listen, man, I just had a bad day, my job, or my client, if you own a business, doing this, doing that, I can't understand this. He can relate, you
Right.
know, and he can also give you manhood advice,
Right.
you know, versus then you putting the whole baggage on your lady of your life.
Right. Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is that she's not gonna. Typically, a woman's not gonna respond the way a man would respond. Men, we are logical thinkers, and and this is not to say women can't be logical, but typically, a woman is going to kind of respond with her feelings, first,
Right.
and and so if you happen to call one of your buddies and you just say, hey, hey Dave, my boss did this to me at work, and um I can't believe he did that. Like, my boss is tripping. My boss is bugging. And
Right.
then, and then Dave may respond like, well, what could you have done better? Maybe something that you could have did or whatever. And it's like, you know what? Okay, Dave, you're right. All right. And then, go from there. But basically what I'm saying is that you can't expect a woman to give a man's response, and
Mm,
a woman cannot expect a man to give a woman response.
right. Vice versa. Yeah. That's totally true because you know, if we in the shopping plaza and she's telling me like, does this look good on me? And I'm like, yeah, you look good. You look good in everything in my eyes, right?
Right, right, right,
You
right,
know what
right, right,
you
right.
know? Like,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I need your honest opinion. Be like, well, I am giving
I
you my.
just told you.
I just told you.
Right,
What
right.
more do you
Yeah,
want?
yeah.
But they're looking for somebody who's going to give more of a feminine approach to it.
Right,
Be like,
exactly.
you're like, girl, your bust and your waist. I don't think that dress fit that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You
right,
know,
right, right.
versus than us. We're going to try to either be romantic or whatever the case may be. For the whole
Yeah,
situation.
right.
So I can totally relate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this, man. But hey, I definitely appreciate you, Kings and Dreams, for coming on here and giving your input. Because I feel like a lot of men out there need men such as ourselves to be able
Yeah.
to educate, and create self awareness so people can know, like, hey, you know, this is what you're doing wrong.
Mhm.
Just like DJ Doughboy said again. He said, first you gotta identify that something is wrong, you know? And this is what, us as men is going to be able to hold other men accountable,
Mhm.
so they can be the best versions of themselves and be able to self improve, to become the best man that they can be.
Right.
So, any last words, man? You can tell people where to find you and everything.
Yeah. So I just want to say, men, stop. Stop with the simping. Stop giving women validation. As I stated in the beginning of the show, it can really mess up your psyche by just throwing money at the situation. You have to have money. You have to have charisma. You have to be in your masculine frame. You have to be self-aware, and you have to be in control. Not control her. Just want to make sure any ladies that are watching, I have not said men be controlling. Men be in control of yourself. Stop the simping. Um, you know, if you're having issues being a bit too emotional at times, and you're getting upset at things that you probably shouldn't get upset about, you know, talk to the men in your circle, talk to a professional, but don't just carry it inside. I did that, and it is not good. You don't want to carry that pain inside. So that's the last thing that I'll say on that. Make sure you follow me on YouTube. It is Kingzndreamz on YouTube, also on Instagram. You can follow me there. New videos dropping soon. You will definitely likely see me and his brother link up again. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man,
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all, and salute.
Hey, salute, brother. Check out Kings and Dreams. Link is going to be in the bio. And remember, stop snipping. Snipping. Stop sipping, guys.
Well, when you are simping, you are technically snipping.
Pretty much.
Right?
All right. This is the Sigma Lenny Show, guys. Peace and blessings.
All right.
All right.